Hey Playas, how you doing? Welcome back to Playas Guide. This episode of Playas Guide, I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to get games cheap and how to find some good deals when you're game hunting. So early on in my collecting, I didn't really know what the rare NES games were, and I can tell you some stories, some pretty good stories about games that I missed out on for dirt cheap that are worth hundreds of dollars now. And the reason was I didn't know what was rare and what wasn't. I was just buying games because they looked interesting on the label or because, 15, 16, 17 years ago, they were dirt cheap. Some people couldn't even give them away. Now, you gotta know what you're looking for and you gotta be aggressive because there's a lot of other people looking for this stuff and you're competing with them. You also want to know what you want. So, having an app that allows you to keep track or even a checklist, like a physical piece of paper checklist that you stick in your back pocket of games you're looking for, games you need to keep an eye out for, and when you go to game stores too, let them know that you're looking for those games because you might be able to work out a deal for a game that they don't even have yet, and then when it walks through that their door, it has your name on it. So let people know, make them aware of what you're looking for. And I think it goes without saying you want to have a good rapport with people because, like I said, you don't want to lowball them. The only time you're lowballing is if you're trying to resell a lot. You're buying a lot, you might pick one or two games out of, and the rest you're going to sell. But otherwise, if you're after something, don't do that. You want to have a good reputation, and you want to be able to deal with these people again, especially if they're resellers, because they're out there looking for the stuff that you might not find. Now, depending on the store and where you're buying games at swap meets or flea markets, make sure you have cash because you might be able to save some tax or get a better deal if you got the cash on hand and you're able to pay upfront cash. Ask. Why not? It doesn't hurt. Worst case scenario, you got to pay debit or whatever, and you pay the full price. If you have a good rapport with different local game stores or resellers, you might even be able to get them to put something aside for you and hold it for a week until you have money available. Now, another thing that's important with this is you want to have a budget because if you're just buying whatever it is that you feel you need in your collection or that's missing, you're going to miss out on deals that are going to come to you down the road. You'll see those games again for the most part. Sometimes you got to jump on a game when you see it, but for the most part, sometimes patience can save you some money as well, as opposed to just rushing in and buying whatever you see. My budget for game collecting, believe it or not, is $20 a week, and sometimes I don't even spend that. It depends what else is going on in life. But when I got cash that I'm able to spend, I limit myself to about $20. And if I don't buy anything, then that can accumulate. And when I'm going to a convention or something, what I do is I'll just put that money aside and I don't really spend anything. So I have a nice lump of cash going into an event like that because you don't want to be going to a swap or a convention with less than $100 in your pocket because you will see things you want. You might be able to get a good deal and you're going to miss out if you don't have the money handy. If you've been watching my videos and you like Playas Guide and you're already subscribed to the channel, then you'll know that I talk about some of the different games that a lot of people are unaware of, such as rare variants and sports titles that are quite rare and could easily get mixed in amongst other common games that are the common variants or common sports titles. So keep an eye out for that stuff and know which games those are. When going game hunting, keep in mind time and effort because you're going to be putting a lot of time and some money into gas and whatever other expenses come up when you're running around looking for games. Sometimes places like eBay might actually be the cheaper option. Here's some tips when you're buying games online. Try looking for items that have been misspelled. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you can find some items this way. Look at lots, look through bulk listings, and just kind of sift through them. If you got the time, you're on the crapper at work sitting there, just shift through stuff. See if anything jumps out at you that might be able to be sold, or is the game you're looking for, and the rest of the games could be sold and would pretty much cover the lot. The lot! I've mentioned this in previous videos before that I'm going to link at the end of this video if you would like to check out what is good to collect for in 2019. But you're going to want to look for the less popular consoles to collect for, like Xbox, Xbox 360, PS3. These games are really cheap right now in 2019. So you can get a lot of them for cheap, and there's a lot of good games. Now, if that's not what you're interested in and what you want to collect for, make sure that you are really interested in what it is. So if you really like Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64, which are pretty popular to collect for right now, make sure you're willing to pay the price for these games, because they are expensive and they have gone up in value a lot and haven't slowed down yet. So pay what a game is worth to you. If you look at a game and you say, hey, this copy of Aero Fighters is an $800, $900 game just for the cartridge, do you think it's worth that? If you don't, then don't buy it. Buy the games that you feel are worth the value and pay that much. If you're buying a lot of games, try to get a bundle deal. And when you're buying games, make sure you check the condition, because you want to look at disc games specifically. They're a little trickier to buy these online, so it's a good idea to buy them, physically in person and check out the disc, check out the damage. Even sometimes the discs look good and they don't work, so you do take a bit of a gamble with any used game really, but more so the disc-based stuff. For the cartridge-based games, look at the pins, check for corrosion. For the most part, I've been able to clean up and get most games working, even some with tiny bit of corrosion that I've been able to remove. But corrosion is difficult to remove and can be a problem, so check the pins for this, and damage, or even a chipped board. You could sometimes find that, and that's no good. You want your games to work, and you want them to be in good condition and working order. Collecting for previous generation consoles keeps you ahead of the game, meaning if you're watching a lot of these videos that I come out with where I talk about collecting for a specific console, you're going to be aware of many of the rare and collectible items. And if it's something like Wii or Wii U or Xbox 360 or one of those consoles that not all of the rares have truly come to light at this point, then you have a good idea of what you're looking for, but you're ahead of the game because you can pick those games up now, and if they are truly rare, they will go up in value over time as more people become aware of them. Another thing as a collector you may want to do is upgrade, which means look for upgrades of games in your collection that you're not satisfied with or aren't in the best condition, and then take the old game and sell it or trade it towards something else that you want. Thanks Playas for watching another episode of Playas Guide. I hope some of these tips and tricks or hacks, whatever you want to call them, help save you money and help you find the good games. Some of these tips and tricks might even make you money. So get out there, get aggressive, and get game hunting. That's where you're going to find the deals. If you're not going to get aggressive and you're not looking to save money, then there's plenty of games online for you to buy. Thanks for watching and subscribing to Playas Guide. Later, Playas.